Hello, SpeedGaming, and welcome to this match between Stashiocat and Bressingham as part of the Super Metroid SpeedGaming Live Any Percent tournament. I'm Glove, and joining me on comms is Sforzando. How you doing?
Hi, Glove. I hope you're having as good a night as I am. I'm definitely looking forward to this first gold bracket match of the tournament. We got two evenly matched competitors here. We've got they're separated by about 30 seconds on the all-time leaderboard and by about 17 seconds in seeding. So this is going to be a really close one.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, anything can happen in Super Metroid. We could see like. Probably, I would say somewhere in the realm of a quarter of races end up super anticlimactic, but this race has the makings of a really good one. We've got really close PBs. Um, we've got they're both going to be running old route, which tends to be more consistent. So we have sort of the best chance we'll be having in round one, I think, for a really close, really exciting match.
Yeah, absolutely. And because they're running old route, so we're running Kraid first route, you're going to see a little bit less risk of death that you would see with most new routes, which also makes for great and observable racing. We shouldn't really have to worry about either of our runners dying to anything horrific, but at least until the very end. So I'm definitely going to see how this plays out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these Bress and Stashio are both just really talented runners, and honestly, I think we could see either one of them PBing any day now. I believe Stashio actually got like a 3-second PB in one of the qualifiers.
And we just want to say welcome to all you who come from SpeedGaming. You were watching Link to the Past Randomizer. Welcome. Once again, this is the first gold bracket match of the 2022 Any Percent tournament for Super Metroid. I hope you guys sit back and enjoy this one because this is going to be a great race.
Oh, really rough stairs room for Bress. That's a series. So many of the rooms here, if they go bad, they go bad. Like, it's pretty incredible that Bress managed to salvage a 44 out of that.
Yeah, Steam is definitely not friendly, and that stairs room, unfortunately, has a nice little mechanic where every so often you can get stuck. I think it's a sub-pixel issue or something to that effect, where if you run up those stairs directly, every so often you'll get sort of stuck, and that can throw off your rhythm and timing in trying to make those jumps.
Right. Yeah, and then coming into the next room, there's one Steam that you can react to it, whether or not you should immediately jump or wait a little bit longer. But then if you do continue to run forward, there's another Steam that is also RNG that might hit you. So
That
really, yeah.
the
One of the
heckin'
most,
Steam.
yeah, I mean, Super Metroid is a game that uh, over the course of the run tends to have a lot of RNG, but not RNG that's like there's no huge super meaningful one RNG point. You get stuff like drop lock or a couple enemy patterns. But Ceres is sort of like the king of RNG.
Yeah, and we could see Estachio not employing the moonfall technique. Bressingham missed it in Parlor, but got it in the climb room, and so now Bressingham kind of pulls out to a little bit of a lead, but this is all... it's still too early, obviously, to tell, but it's obviously to see these little things that can make a difference in whether one passes the other.
Absolutely. Yeah, at this point, we have seen most of the benefit of Moonfall in terms of time. Like, there are a couple more Moonfalls. The other really notable one is going to be in the escape at the end of the game. But no Moonfalls at this point out that save more than, like, about a second.
Yeah, Moonfall is a nice trick to save a little bit of time.
Oh, Bress!
Bressingham is getting stuck doing something I think we've all done, and that's not letting a frame go by with that angle down press so that you shoot across those. I've done that countless times.
Yeah. In this game, generally if you do something a couple frames too late, you lose a couple frames. If you do it a couple frames too early, you lose seconds. And with that, even despite not having Moonfall, Stashio has taken the lead.
Yeah, this next room here is a bit tricky. It's the return pits room with the enemies there. Trying to get this done cleanly, either with deboosts or jumping across those platforms. Stashio looking very clean at that.
Yeah, Bress as well. Both of them really nice pit rooms. And then we are seeing a ledge grab climb here from Stashio and a more traditional wall jump climb from Bress. These are pretty time neutral. Oh no!
Except
That is
when
a
that
couple
happens.
extra seconds. You know, I find sort of once you like make a couple mistakes in the early game, it can be really hard to regain your mental composure. Bressingham is certainly no stranger to racing. He's raced in multiple vanilla SM tournaments, multiple rando tournaments, SMZ3. But even then, you can still get really rattled, especially against a really good opponent. And I think for me, at least, if I'm racing somebody who is close to me in skill level, that's a lot more nerve-wracking than somebody who is way better than me.
Yeah, and I think the question becomes what areas are you conservative in? What areas do you take risks in? Oh, grabs all the missiles for Stashiocat. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah. Just takes it out with 10 additional P shots rather than waiting for BT to fire. And two missiles here. Stashio can get one missile in Terminator, or one missile drop in Terminator, but he will have to either spend a little bit longer using a different strat to get missiles from the waivers, or he'll have to farm up on pirates.
Yeah, I think you're probably more safe with the waiver. The waiver's a higher guaranteed drop rate of that missile. Pirates are always sort of an RNG risk. There's an incredibly rare chance that none of the missiles drop, and that can definitely set you back. So we'll see how he responds. He stops at the waiver, okay.
Yeah, another thing you can go for is you can jump over that second waiver rather than missiling it. Or if you want to look really swag, you can actually deboost off of that waiver.
I was about to make a comment because I've been running new route and I forgot in that moment that both runners were running old route. And I'm like, oh no, they're taking hits from pirates. That's actually an intended effect.
Yeah.
Chances are I'm going to say that a lot. It's like, oh, that's different than I'm used to.
Yeah, certainly I don't want this to be the here's what we would do in new route. Because old route is really cool on its own.
No, yeah, and it's definitely no slouch. It's only behind because of door transitions and going back over the map as a true Metroidvania would. But it's definitely good to see. There's definitely its own unique tricks that make it a wonderful route, and especially a good route for new players.
Yeah, it's very funny. So like these runners, Bress's PB is a high 44, Stashio's is a low 45. And you look at like a 45 or 44 old route, and it is just like poetry in motion watching this person execute every room beautifully. And you look at what most like new route 45s and 44s are, and it's just like messing up every room, getting caught in all the vile plumes. And you're just like, how did that PB?
Yeah, let's not mince words here. A 44, low 45 old route is very impressive. New route's easy to get that time made up, just like I said, because of rune transitions and doubling back on your map. But to do this at that high level is definitely impressive.
All right, let's see this green hill zone. Ooh, Stashio actually unmorphs a little bit later and manages to avoid taking a hit from that side hopper. That's deceptively hard to do when you get that low hop pattern.
Yeah, it's not a problem to take damage this early, per se, when you're doing old route, because you're going to end up with an energy tank down in warehouse if you choose to take it. If you choose to go the 4-tank route for safety, but there's one waiting for you there. If not, you're going to get one at high jump boots anyway, so those tanks are not going to affect you. Having a lower amount of health is not going to affect you because you're going to replenish it here pretty soon.
I'll be interested to see if either or both of our runners do get that Kraid tank. In a race this close, I would not be surprised at all to see them both 3-tank.
Yeah, and that's a tough call because again, that kind of does a nice 3 super by both of our runners. Good 3 super jump
Hmm.
over. I think it's going to be interesting to see what plays they take for safety and what plays they take for risks, because it's certainly, both of these runners could take that safety, and because you could use that fourth tank if Mother Brain decides to be a little extra, and the fourth tank definitely will come in handy. But I could definitely see where, because I mean, you're talking about 2-door transitions and an item fanfare you're saving there. That if one person takes it, the other one doesn't, that could mean the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we have arrived at the moment on whether or not we see some Kraid DLC action.
Yeah, this moment is always really scary in races. Less so almost about the time save and more like you don't want to embarrass yourself. But of course,
Yeah,
everyone misses crate quick kills sometimes. Not
they
these
do.
runners though.
Not this time, anyway. So what we saw, also, Stashiocat took a little bit of damage to employ some lag reduction strats. When Samus's sprite kind of flickers in the damage, it generates that sprite less often, and therefore it creates a little less lag. And so it's just little things that you could do that help reduce your times by that much more when you add them all together.
Yeah. Bressingham's missile count here is actually a bit of an issue. So he's going to pseudo screw the first pirate. That loses just a little bit of time. But we look at like Stashio has 7 missiles now. That's not insignificant. It's not the hugest deal because we will get a farm at speed. But it can potentially change some of these strats that Bress will go for in Upper Norfair. And Bress is grabbing Kraid tank. I think his PB might actually be a 4 tank.
Well, this also will potentially give Bressingham the option later to reject Batoon's tank should the run be going well. Should you come out of Batoon with more than, say, 225 health or whatever the case may be, or 325 health, whatever that is, you can opt to skip the Batoon E tank to stay at 3 tank and push that through. So what we're seeing here is just a little bit of those little differences between Stashio and Bressingham. As Stashio's going for the 20, I say the 25 missile. There's another one that you might be able to skip, but that's actually a missile you'd get if you wanted 25 missiles. It's an easy way to get out. There is a way to opt out of that by doing a bomb jump towards the bottom here, if you didn't want to get that one. But what did they skip if you're going to skip another missile on this route? Is it wave?
No, you skip moat missile.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. I forgot about Ocean Fly. So many tricks that I don't do anymore because of new route. That's why this is just such a wonderful watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So moat versus high jump missile is largely up to personal preference. Not really for Bress here. Bress really wanted to take high jump missile because of not having any missiles.
Yeah, he would not be the first runner to do the strategic refill. That's something that I learned from Kip as it related to wave missiles and whether or not he picks them up on his runs. It's definitely more for strategic than total count at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I just always pick up wave missiles personally, since for me it's like, because it generally ends up saving you somewhere in the realm of 3 to 4 seconds to not pick it up once you consider RNG.
Yeah, Bressingham is struggling with every runner's nemesis in Bubble Mountain. This is probably one of the harder tricks to do when you don't have Ice Beam, because you can't freeze any monsters to jump on them, and the jumps are just a little bit tighter in Old Route. Now, this is something that a lot of runners would struggle with, and certainly Bressingham is no exception here, unfortunately.
Yeah, Bressingham's resources are really rough here. Like, that really sucks for Stashio. Gets the farm, tries to leave too soon, misses the drops.
Yeah, I think you want. It's been a long time since I run Old Route. I think you want at least 3 supers, but certainly, obviously, the more the merrier.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bress do at least a 3 farm here.
It wouldn't surprise me if if Stasha sees the low super count and he feels like he needs more, there's a bug farm you can do between the Raceway and Bubble Mountain that a lot of new route runners will do if they came out of Lower Norfair with lower missiles. It's an easier farm that you could do and get down there for, but I don't remember if he's going to be panicking on those missiles or not.
Yeah, I mean, so Brett's got 2 supers and 2 farms, which is pretty standard, pretty close to what you expect, but he got 0 missiles. The game just does not want to help him out here. Like, I don't think it should matter depending on what Fantoon's patterns are. Like, there's the nightmare scenario, I guess, where he, or no, UX factor. So yeah, I don't think it really matters that much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a matter of whether or not our runners know double X factor, or if they prefer single X factor, whatever the case may be, because that's going to be maybe something that influences as well. If you know double X factor and you are low on missiles, that might influence you, especially if it's like fast or something where you're going to be resource starved again.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, missing that super is really unfortunate for Bress. Yeah, I don't think there are many runners at all who really do the double X factor on Fantoon.
Yeah, Bressingham took a moment to go after that Sova to see if the Sova would drop a rare-ish super missile. Unfortunately, to no avail. No missiles on that drop either.
Yeah, that Sova is really good at giving you whatever you don't want.
Yeah, and unfortunately, no Alpha Spark for Stashiocat, but Alpha Spark is more a fun trick. It does save time, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, most three tank runners, and by most I mean people who are not Zenny or Zos, don't go for Alpha Spark. Also, nice super for Stashio there. Stashio getting all the drops here,
and a great red tower climb too.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite room in the whole game, in any category. I have put more time into KPDR Red Tower Climb than any other room, because I just think it's so sick.
And the wall jump into the angle shot, straight up through into the down grab, it's just poetry in motion.
Absolutely. No super for Bress.
And Bressingham gets that red tower. That's beautiful. Yeah, there's a free super in Hellway.
There we go. Yeah, slightly. Oh my goodness,
he had to have that. Yeah, he went after that first cack attack with a using his horizontal momentum to just jump right up there and grab it.
Yeah, I've never seen that strat before. That's really cool.
Okay, so here comes Oceanfly, and this one's a bit of a tricky trick to do on account of having to release your shot, whether it's a missile or a charge beam shot, at the right time. And Stasha's played it safe with the 2 charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 charge literally loses you like a couple seconds, so it's not really a concern. And Stashio, I don't know if that was intentional. Some people do spark high there to conserve health. His health, as a new route runner, his health looks really nice here, but like,
yep, it is definitely on the lower. It is definitely on the lower side. But I mean, the difference obviously between old route, new route Fantoon is having Various Suit is going to mitigate some of the damage, but that is not licensed to be reckless or otherwise. So Stashio does need to be careful here. The good short charge into the speed keep ball there too. I do like that trick. Oh, 1 frame shy for Bressingham and his Oceanfly.
Unfortunate. Yeah, Bressingham's health is looking really nice having that extra tank.
Not a lot of early drops for Stashio. Here comes the first X Factor. Oh, it looks like I think a flame might have eaten one. No, I think he looks fine.
Yeah, I think this is fine. And he should be able to get a fully on-screen pattern here. Nice.
Okay, so we had a mid-mid, so that's we'll see what kind of RNG pattern Bressingham gets. If Bressingham can get a little more favorable pattern, he can potentially make up some of the lost time.
Yeah. Although, you know, a pattern like mid-mid sounds like it would be the most average pattern imaginable, but it's actually a pretty good pattern.
I mean, it is, because I think you're more likely to get slows just about all the way around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
50% to get a slow round 1, and then it's a little bit more favorable round 2. Nice.
Bressingham eating the flames to make sure that the X Factor particles don't get them. That was very nice. And then a slow fast, so realistically about the same, give or take, on the amount of time spent at Fantoon.
Yeah, that air Doppler was clean, though. Again, Bressingham, not the best drops ever. I mean, I guess if he wanted 30 power bombs.
Oh, Stashio almost got the full attic strat there. The newer players will probably end up just simply doing an attic spark and clearing with a power bomb, but that strategy saves a bit more time. There's this kind of sort of a hybrid strat where you go left first, but ultimately I think it's runner's choice on that one. That almost looked good if he had gotten the jump over that little block.
Yeah, definitely a more advanced strat.
Double supers.
Yeah, ridiculous pancake farm. I don't know. All these Super Metroid Zoomers today, though, are like, finally got my first sub-hour, you know, messed up the last jump of Ballistic Attic.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like Bressingham is going for get that speed keep. There. Oh, and he missed it. Oh, that's okay, though. That's
asshole. That Key Hunter.
He still probably had a faster attic than Stashiocat, just by virtue of making that jump.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it looks like the gap at this point is probably about, I'd say, 40-45 seconds or so, as Bressingham still has to go through the bowling animation, which it does take about 35 seconds to get from into the hand down into getting gravity suit. So yeah, I'd say that's a gap of probably about 30, actually, right, yeah, probably about 41 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely not insurmountable. I mean, that's literally like a miffed Dragon plus a miffed boss wound.
Yeah, there's so much to this game. I mean, this definitely is not over. I hope you all brought your snacks and your drinks and your things to get comfortable with, because we have so much more to this game. Gravity is basically the end of roughly Act 2 at this point, so we got basically 3 more really major parts to go on this.
Yeah, pretty much as like entering Meridia is going to be roughly the halfway point.
Yeah, Dragon's definitely a tough cookie to deal with, regardless of what route you're going into.
I guess Stashio missed the power bomb entering Caterpillar Room.
I wonder if they just didn't put one down. I couldn't remember what happened, because that's one that's like the only reason you'd miss the door, I think, at that point is just not lay one, because you can lay one to hit both CAC attacks for super missiles, but you can miss the CAC attack that way. But I think it's very tough to miss the door with a power bomb, so I think he just didn't lay it.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened. If I had to guess, it was probably something along the lines of like hitting the shoot button during your morph animation. That one gets me a lot. Because while you are transitioning animations, you can't lay the bomb.
He doesn't get the jump. The fish tank jump's pretty tough. It's you just got a couple of frames window to get that.
All right, yeah, Stashio does a quick extra farm there, try and make up for that extra power bomb loss.
Yeah, because you need, really, because if you get no other drops, you basically need 3. 1 for that right there in Aqueduct, and then you're going to need 1 for Batoon at least, and then 1 for Dragon at least.
Yeah. Bress's health here is... Well, Bress and Stashio, both of their health is sort of like on the low side of fine, like a little bit lower, and I start to get a bit worried.
Yeah, Stashio definitely doesn't want to take more than 1 hit from this bot wound. It looks like he moves to the back wall to help ensure that, he still takes 1, but that's okay. Doesn't get the health bomb. That's really what you want out of this room.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting an E-Tank here, so as long as you're not health bombed, your health doesn't matter.
Yeah, now I think we might see a decision coming up
Yahtzee.
for we might see a decision. It might be decision time for Bressingham. He's far enough behind. He may have to decide whether or not he actually wants to go 3-tank and skip the Botwoon E-Tank. The problem is he's going to need a lot of health drops from Botwoon.
Yeah. That's just not super likely.
And that's a good full halfie from Stashio.
Incredible fight from Brest there.
No, he's definitely getting Botwoon's tank because he had the health necessary to skip the tank.
No, but Brest dealt really well with the top pattern there, which is super difficult in my opinion.
All right, so here's Bressingham's attempt at full halfie while Stashio is going for Dragon here. Looks good so far.
Okay, Brest did also get the Yahtzee.
That's a good start, I think, on Botwoon or on Dragon there.
Should be a pretty simple 2-spark. Oh,
he missed some of those missiles. Some of those missile shots didn't connect. Oh, Stashio might be a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Stashio kind of got caught out a bit. Took a hit from Dragon when he didn't want to, which can completely... Like, it's really easy to just fire a bunch of missiles into parts of
and
Dragon
then gets the bad frame on the spike suit.
Yeah.
So how Bressingham approaches this fight could make the difference in this, because he can get this fight done quickly. If he can get the blue suit or the spike suit and get out of here, it might be making up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spike suit does save roughly 6 seconds in old route. Oh, not quite. Should just be a couple missiles though. Literally one missile. You hate to see it. And Bryce gets that blue suit though. Very nice. Stashio with a nice womple. Neither runner really got fantastic drops from Dragon. Dragon can completely stiff you on supers, or she can give you like 7.
I mean, thankfully you can kind of farm some drops here in Cack Alley, but looks like Stashio's just opting to push through and just coming out with 3.
Oh, MGA is saying that spike suit only saves 5 seconds. I don't know. Rui always said 6 seconds. I just believed him.
And I'm having this forgetful moment that I realized that it's like the Womple jump was available. I mean, Stashio got it, but ultimately, like, I'm thinking in new route terms where it's like, oh, you gotta just forge through the Coliseum on your own, and I forget that Womple jump is a thing.
No, I mean, in new route, it's literally what, like 15 seconds you lose without the spike suit.
It can be pretty rough, and it partially also depends on how your jumps go, because if you get your deboost on the spikes and everything like that, it helps. But if you miss those, it's rough.
Yeah, no plasma sparks today from either runner. It's a shame. That trick saves about 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
Yeah. So, some theorize it might be more like 7 hours or something.
Yeah. I should try that.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Now we're a little bit of a... I'm going to say, like, I guess maybe the quiet lull of the run as we're making our way down to Lower Norfair. There's not a huge amount of item pickups, if at all. I think we're pretty set. So it's really just about getting down to Ridley and killing the Pelican.
Yeah, this is a really movement-heavy segment, though. Dragon to LN is a segment that a lot of newer runners will sort of not give the attention it needs, because there are some really complex strats here.
Yeah, because, I mean, then we have the debate about north route or south route, whether you go down through ice afterwards or if you go back out to Main Hall and go to Bubble Mountain.
If I recall correctly, Stashio is a northern route main.
Yeah, I think a lot of purists will say southern route saves you like a second over northern route, but it requires optimal movement to actually save that second.
It looks so cool, though.
That's a good ice room by Stasha there with the getting the super and the boost off the Sova.
Mm-hmm.
This really isn't, it isn't too far off, though. Bressingham has closed a little bit of the gap. I think we said it was 41, I think about 41 seconds at Gravity. It's definitely a little tighter than that now, as they're basically high-fiving at this point.
Well, Stashio, if he wasn't doing southern route before, he is now.
Yeah, missing the ice escape there kind of marries you to that route. That is the first hard part about getting northern route, is getting that ice escape properly. Does not get the Freya's fall into the door, so we're just going to see the regular fall.
Good space jump.
He almost nearly bonked the bottom, I think, but
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise that was good.
That's kind of what you want, though. Like, you want to be as close to bonking as possible, because it gives you more leniency in the next room. And Bress is going resident sleeper route. It's okay, though. We still love him.
It's a good chronic boost.
And we'll see at this elevator time what the difference is. So Stashio with, that looked like a 32. Sick bounce ball.
Yep, that's some solid movement there. I've got a 31 flat, 3102-ish, so it's about 30 seconds now. So Bressingham's actually made up 10 seconds on this, so that's good.
Yeah.
Stashio having to do the drop down to get the Shine Spark charge there. That's a little tough to get that. You basically get that at the last possible moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, top shelf fast pillars is ridiculous.
And Bressingham gets
Bress nails it, yeah. Nice. Bress is ridiculous. Yeah, unfortunately here, not that Bress can't make up the difference, but he doesn't have a ton of runway left.
No, I mean, we basically, because the Ridley fight with Plasma is a lot easier than a new route. It's a straightforward, basically 20 shots, and as long as you manage those things within that short time frame, that things don't get too crazy, you're good. Largely, you're going to be looking at Baby Skip and Metroid movements. And that's really largely what we're going to be looking at here as far as the time save.
Mm-hmm. That super for Bress is actually a fairly big deal.
And we got the single K go for Stashio. Let's see if Bress goes for the double. It'll save him another second or second and a half before the platform drops. Oh, doesn't get the double shot.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, you have to be thankful at least. Like, messing up Ninja Pirates can, like, if the pirates get crossed over and whatnot, it can just go horribly wrong. Bress goes for optimal strat, though, and nails it. Stashio misses Plowerhouse, loses a little bit of time there, but Bressingham bonks it too.
Yeah, so we got a 53 entrance for Stashiocat, 32.53. So it looks like we got a 02, so the difference is now 9 seconds. So this is just tightened up, even before we get to the good stuff.
I don't like... There's no real place where we saw Bress make up a ton of time. It was just room by room. Each room he saved, maybe 1 second over Stashio, and that added up. Lower Norfair is some of the most difficult rooms.
And I mean, that goes both ways, too, because for every mistake Stashio made, that also closed some of the gap. We had said it was, 30 seconds at Lower Norfair Elevator. So combining Bressingham's good movement with Stashio's mistakes, and that's what brings us to about the 9-second gap.
Mm-hmm.
We can check it again here at the exit. 42. We got a 42 door for Stashiocat. And 7 seconds right now is the gap between the two runners. This is getting real close.
Nice reverse powerhouse. That could be really significant. That's if Bress doesn't nail this, which of course he does.
Oh no, he slightly missed the ball in there and stopped his horizontal momentum.
All right, nice wasteland here. Bress going for a tougher strat and has a little bit of trouble. Once those Duskigas get out of position, they can, you're pretty much just at their mercy. And Bress's health, not insignificant here. He can't really go for too risky of strats on LN Escape.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got to time the plasma shots well so to make sure he passes through all of the obstacles without taking damage, because he, by the time you get to this point in new route, you're taking the same amount of damage as you would in old route, so you definitely don't want to take too many hits from these red key hunters.
Yeah.
I think it's 50 a shot, I think.
Yeah, after that key hunter shaft going perfectly, he should be fine. It's generally faster to kill the pirates in Three Musketeers, as I understand it. That was clean.
Yeah, you definitely want to scroll the screen up just a little bit to make sure that that the plasma beam makes contact with that last one, and just decided to use the multi-viola as a step stool.
Yeah, it's nice, and Bress just gets straight up all boost though.
Yeah, you look at that. I mean, little things. That's probably 30 frames he saved there. Stasio didn't go all the way down to the bottom, but did have to drop down and jump off that multi-villa that was frozen. So it's just little things that you could do to chip away at that deficit.
Yeah. It looked like maybe Bress had to take a little think for a second. Like, do I need this last power bomb? Both of our runners don't have any power bombs. Isn't an issue except for menuing. Sometimes if you are cycling through all of your items instead of doing item cancel, if you're not used to missing out on power bombs, you can get really caught up in your menuing. Both of these runners are quite experienced though, so hopefully that won't be an issue.
I mean, you'd hope, but I mean, I'm sure we all experience that issue at just about every level. I do it in Attic when I have one super miss or one power bomb, when you have to drop one power bomb and then suddenly it clicks the menu off for you.
Yeah. Yeah, always embarrassing to super that atomic. All right, and so Stashio does have about a couple room lead. Bressingham does have, soon to be 4 more supers, which does mean that he can go for some riskier strats in Tourian.
Yeah, I think you might see Bressingham just employ some single-shot missiles and skipping a couple of drops just on account of trying to fly through that room. You're definitely more likely to see Stashio do some gathering strats to get some of those drops, especially wanting to maintain health as well, being 3-tank.
Yeah, I would expect to see Stashio do grouping in M1. I would expect Bress to do single shots M1, grouping M2, and depending on what the drops are like, single shots in M3.
Yeah, because see, that's the big... Tourian's a big RNG fest as it relates to super missile drops, because you're going to need a certain amount, and it's notorious for killing runs by RNG. If you go down there and you don't have basically 15 and 9, you're either going to have to just do a bunch of missile shots on doors and then go refill, or you're pretty sunk, especially when it comes to like Mother Brain.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that, 06, 05, 38, 05, 06, G4?
I missed it.
So we're looking at about a 10-ish second gap right here. 10 seconds right now between Stashio and Bressingham. And of course, there's one big trick coming up left, and that is Baby Skip, which is roughly 25 seconds of time loss if you miss it. So it's going to definitely be interesting to see if they overcome that. And then 10 seconds is not far-fetched to get stuck doing Zeb skip, not getting Zeb skip right on the first try, or Stashio is actually at a bit of a risk. Being 3 tank, you can't take much damage getting down to Mother Brain and then during the Mother Brain 2 fight. If he drops below 300, that's GG. The race is over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and look at that beautiful old route G4 room. No pauses, no frills, no anything. Just go down an elevator.
Just as the Lord intended.
Stashio's going for it. And Metroids aren't cooperating. So yeah, he's gonna missile here. I think that's the right choice.
And here comes, oh no, Bressingham is going to do a gather strat, and I mean, comparatively speaking, oh no! They got slightly out of sync, he had used a second super. Oh, and he missed. Oh, that could be not. Oh no, Metroid 3 is rough. This could be disastrous for Stashio.
And he, no matter what,
pass right there.
He has to super right now in M4 because he needs the health.
Oh yeah, he needs 9 supers with that 20 count. Oh, he opted. Oh, Stashio is in real.
Refill here.
He has to refill. There's no way you can't. There's the under 300. Stashio's going to be taking a trip over to the room on the left here. I wonder if he just does baby skip, or just. I mean, you still want to get baby skip. You still do want to get baby skip, but I think he's, if he doesn't get it, you're going to end up in that room anyway.
I mean, I like what Stashio's doing here, where he's like, you take a little bit of health and then go for it. So if you do miss it, it's no big deal.
Yeah, so Stashio does miss it, but that's largely intended on account of him. Not intended, obviously you are losing time, but he does get the correct 10 frame save right facing capture there.
Yeah. And Bressingham looked really cool there. Got I forget what it's called, like a corner boost or whatever, basically using the uninterruptible frames of turnaround. So he kept his falling speed the whole time.
Yeah, that's always cool to see. So yeah, Stashio had to refill anyway. Metroid drops weren't friendly. Opting for missiles over supers was probably. Wait, did he just cut? Yeah, he had 20 and 9. Yeah, so I think that's still unfortunately the correct play because I mean, if you have 6 supers, I mean, then you're visiting that room anyway, and it might be worse.
A couple weeks ago, back when my PB was still a 46, I lost the 45 to having 26 in Tourian.
Yeah, that's just rough when that happens.
Like, I literally still PB'd because like you can just missile all the doors, but you're losing like 30 seconds doing that.
Yeah, because you have to go missile all the doors, and I mean also the Ghidorah. I mean that's 3 individual missile shot blink, on the blinks, and mean to graze past this Mother Brain 2, but I mean, with Plasma Beam, this is an incredibly short fight. 20 shots, and Mother Brain 2 goes down for Bressingham. It's about to be the same for Stashiocat. This is a pretty low-risk fight, just because you don't spend that long in this room. You don't want to take that for granted. That's a rough meatball, and good no damage on that those meatball particles.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he took a shot there from the onion rings, though. That could have been bad.
Yeah. Getting hit by 1 onion ring isn't a big deal in itself, except that you can just get hit. All 4 of them can hit you, and then that's GG.
Yeah, it doesn't generate iframes when you get hit by the onion ring, so you can get hit by as many as she spits out, 4 to 6, I think, whatever it is.
So, man, what a race. Like, what a way to kick off Gold Bracket.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and this is just great mental fortitude, I think, by Bressingham to just stick through and endure. Because he got down probably about as much as 45 seconds, 41 seconds or so at Gravity was the deficit. Stashio had a pretty good lead. It just chipped away at it, got it down to 7 seconds at Ridley escape, and between his good movement, Stashio's mistakes, and then just the Metroid drops were rough. Plus, Metroid 3's movement for Stashio was not it wasn't helpful for his health total. That's how Bressingham was able to overcome this lead basically right at that point, and it's almost no looking back at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he really showed his race experience, stuck it out, and pulled, assuming no power outages, meteor strikes, or anything, will be taking the W. And you know what his reward is?
He gets to face Oats and Goats in the next round.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, so Bressingham, if you're watching this either live or if you watch this back to see how the race went, good luck. Assuming you don't die, in Leodoc's room or Zenny Spark into the inability to short charge up the climb shaft or whatever the case may be. I don't mean to commentator's curse, but your reward is Oats and Goats, so good luck.
Yeah. Gets a little bit caught up in that first room of the escape. Basically, you want to turn around as early as possible. Because of the way the camera works, the further left you go, you can't just hold right, or you will ruin the door. So if you turn around right after you fall off, you get still the ideal door transition, but you are much closer to the right where you want to be.
You definitely want to hold right on that for as few frames as possible. So here comes the Spark in the climb. We'll see if he does any Spark. Behemoth Spark, there we go. Certainly, you could also take the typical Spark route for safety if you're like me, and that's not a good... you're not good at that trick, or whatever the case may be, but it's at least get to see him move through that. Very low risk of death at this point. No Moonfall for Stashio. It was the one other place in the Leodoc's room that you could save a good bit of time by Moonfalling right there.
Yeah. And that is an official racetime.gg time of 45:34 for Bressingham. GG.
Yep, and so Bressingham officially moves on to the next round. Like I mentioned, his reward, as he basically gets fed to a lion in Oats and Goats. It's just going to be that way, I think, for those that have the first round bye. When you get the win in this round, you're going to be up against a lion. So good luck to Bressingham in that match. Stashio will move into the losers bracket, where he will wait for a little while for his next opponent. But definitely GG to Stashiocat. His official racetime.gg time is 46:05, so GG to both of our runners.
Yeah, GG. We'll see if we can get them in here for an interview. But yeah, absolutely. As we wait to see if they'll come in for an interview, be sure to go follow both of these runners. Go follow Stashiocat. Go follow Bressingham. If you'd be so kind, follow Comms as well. I've been, I'm Glove, and we have Sforzando here. Really, really exciting kickoff to the tournament bracket stage. We've got tons of matches yet to come.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to your match against Nevdi. That's definitely going to be one of great interest to me. But definitely, if you like what you saw on SpeedGaming, feel free to give SpeedGaming and its auxiliary channels a follow for great speedrunning content. We also have a Discord for Super Metroid speedrunning. If you are new to this whole thing and you want to get involved, there is a Discord for you to get involved in. Jump in. There are definitely wonderful people here that help new players out. And definitely runners running the tournament that are a great example of how to run old route and how to get involved in the game at just about any skill level.
All right, and looks like we are joined now by Stashiocat. GG.
GG. That was I'm assuming that was a pretty good race. I looked at G4.
Absolutely.
It kind of was, actually. You had a pretty sizable... I'm assuming you weren't watching the restream or the channel or anything otherwise.
I checked at bowling, and I saw that I was ahead, and then I checked at I think the elevator after Meridia. and I saw that I was ahead.
Yeah, so Bressingham, I don't think you were. Just read the chat. I don't know if you were watching the restream or not, but you were down 41 seconds at Gravity, and then you were down 30 seconds at Lower Norfair Elevator, and then you both left Ridley, and you were down by about 7 seconds. So you really clawed your way back there. As I mentioned, if I didn't say, we're joined by Bressingham in the studio here. Bressingham, I just want to ask you. So one thing that was clear. A little bit of a rough start to the run, but the mental endurance allowed you to just push through. And how do you kind of overcome some of those early mistakes and those things that can kind of weigh you down?
I don't know. I was so nervous, but I was just taking deep breaths. I mean, you're asking the wrong person. Like, I don't know how I did. I don't know how I kept it together, but I was. I mean, you just have to put mistakes like that behind you. Try not to acknowledge them. The Bubble Mountain was the most tilting thing. But that's as soon as that happened, and I was having slop everywhere, I knew I had to catch up. So it's great to hear that I was able to.
I actually had a pretty bad split there too. Like my lava or rising tide room was pretty bad, and I lost a whole bunch of health. So I actually, like, entering Fan 2, and I had to, like, I couldn't ocean fly, and I had to spark against the wall. I mean, I didn't have to, but it's a race. I didn't want to die.
And that was something Glove had mentioned, that we were wondering whether that spark against the wall was intentional to save health.
Yeah, I would have been... I think if I had sparked the whole way, I could have maybe taken 2 hits, and sometimes on some patterns you need 3 hits, so I didn't want to be in that spot.
So Bressingham, is that 22% common? You got the warehouse tank where Stashio didn't, and that's pretty, choice of conservatism, I suppose. Do you think you would have regret that extra tank if you had lost by 6 seconds or whatever the case may be, or is that going to be a constant regardless of what you do?
I have never completed a 3 tank run. Excuse me. So that's my usual. I considered dropping it for Stashio because we are so close and he does 3 tank. So it's kind of like, why am I throwing away like 15 seconds?
You don't need it to beat me, Bress. You're too much of a gamer.
Well, it definitely helps me to not die, and you ran out of health in Tourian, so it was related to that.
I need to work on some like grouping strats, like, or missile strats, because normally in a run I would not try to do that, but in a race I didn't want to just like go crazy. But I badly messed up room 2 and 3 trying to missile.
Yeah, it was interesting. I said beforehand, like, with the difference in missile counts, Bress can afford to just do like single missile or single super shots in M1, whereas Stashio will probably go for a grouping strat. And then Stashio just went for optimal strats and Bress grouped.
Well, I almost never group room 1. Like, I'm just too comfy with the other strat. Although I messed it up, oddly enough, this run.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough strat. Yeah, really sick when you are able to like fully execute on it, though.
Yep. So Stashiocat, you've got a little bit of a break now, as you're going to be waiting for the remainder of the top bracket round 1 to finish, and then the round 2 bracket to finish, because you're going to face the loser of the second round there. So you're going to get a few days off to work on your game, to practice a little bit. But Bressingham, your reward for your victory today is you get Oats and Goats in the next round. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. I'm very excited for that and not scared at all.
How do you mentally prepare when you
Honestly, I honestly think that my only chance is Oats dies or has the worst run of his entire life or something like that. Just there's too much time difference between our like averages. So I may try 3 tank, but I'm just gonna try my best and hope for the best. it's going to be a fun race either way.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is ever out of the realm of possibility. You can look at some of these times and you could see a huge gap between two runners, but this game is fickle and cruel, and sometimes it just isn't fair. And sometimes you need those things, and so we're gonna hope for the best for you. Good luck in the next round, Stashio. Of course, good luck to you as you're waiting for your next opponent. Good luck to you in the second round. It's definitely an enjoyable match to watch. Thank you for making it good.
Thank you guys for commentary. It was amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure it was.
I'll have to listen.
I'll be watching it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. GG to both of you for some really nice runs, and best of luck to you, Stashio, in losers round 1, and best of luck against Oates to you, Bress.
Thank you. Good game.
Yeah, good luck, Bress. I hope you beat Oates.
Thank you. Me too. I hope you beat whoever you're up against next.
I think it's
Awesome.
SEMO or MGA, whichever one loses. So that'll be a fun race too. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be awesome.
Awesome. Well, yeah, best of luck to both of you. And that's going to do it from us here at Speed Gaming. Again, be sure to go follow both of these runners. Go follow Stashiocat. Go follow Bressingham. If you would be so kind, follow the broadcast team as well. I've been Glove, joined by Sforzando on comms. And from all of us here at Speed Gaming, we'll see you next mission.